OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. Journey with Grandmother Allayah as she enters her magical world of relics, sacred sites, and ancient crystal skulls. Meet with exciting trailblazer authors and individuals shifting the consciousness of humanity. Send her your questions to be answered on air on her monthly segment, Ask the Oracle. And now your host, Grandmother Allayah, in the sanctuary on the airwaves on OMTimes Radio.
Welcome to Circle of Hearts Radio. I am Allayah, your host for this hour. Welcome to my sanctuary, my sacred space on the airwaves. I really am looking forward to having you, to reintroduce you to my friend Judy Cali. A few months ago, she has went over Dianne Robbins' work and, brought through some channels. And last week, actually, I put a replay of her show on so that you could be familiar with her. But today, we really get to know this beautiful soul. Judy.
Yes.
Hi.
It takes one to know one, Allayah.
You have had a very interesting life. I mean, we could spend the whole hour just talking about how you got to this point.
That's true.
But one of the questions are, you had mentioned, to talk about what you bring forth or what your gifts are. Mm-hmm. And also, I think we'll term it under the thing of heart service.
Okay.
So can you explain to everybody a little bit about that?
I'd be happy to. First of all, everybody has three hearts. You have your human heart when you're in human form. You have what's called your chakra heart, which are the energy centers in your body. And that's your heart chakra, and that's when you're in form. And then you have your sacred heart, which the connecting point is at the base of your throat, the little hollow space. And that's where you connect to it. It's actually residing energetically in your body right in front of your spine, and your spine is called the golden rod because that activates your kundalini, your energy of divinity. And so your sacred heart is your immortal heart. Mm-hmm. It is your heart where your Akashic records are stored. That's your book of life. That's everything about your soul. All of your information about every life experience you're having now, because there's no past and there's no future. Everything is actually happening now in a little different frequency, just like a radio channel. And what happens is your sacred heart is also where every thought, word, and deed from this particular lifetime is recorded by the angels. So that is the heart that you really want to work with, because that's the heart that is directly connected to the Creator's heart. Mm-hmm. So the work that I do is about the sacred heart. And my sacred heart was first opened in 1949 when I was one of the first children to have open heart surgery. And they had just perfected the procedure the year before. And when they operate on babies, true in 1949 and even some to this day, they use very little anesthesia, if any, because at that time they were afraid it would kill you. Mm-hmm. So I woke up and during my surgery, and suddenly I was standing with Jesus in the middle of a tunnel, all filled with light. And I was not raised religious, but I knew instantly who he was. He had me by my hand, he was holding my right hand with his left hand. I still see it today. And he showed me that I was going to have a brother that was going to be born in 6 months with club feet. Mm-hmm. And he said, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And I remember very clearly looking at him and looking at my brother. And with this huge, big heart swell, just saying, I don't want him to be alone. The next thing I knew, I was back in the operating room. The surgeon was cutting open my chest because when they did the surgery, They cut me open from the middle of my chest bone under my bust to halfway up my back.
Wow.
So as he was cutting into me, I looked in his eyes, and my eyes were open, and he realized I could feel what he was doing.
Mm.
And he had such compassion, and that opened my sacred heart.
Wow.
And so after the surgery, I knew that if I put my hand on somebody, I would try to touch their heart. But if I just touched them, I knew they would feel better. I didn't understand what it was all about. I just was intuitively guided. And from that point on, I started working with the Ascended Masters and Angels. And so through the years, for over 40 years, I didn't tell anybody what I did. It was private between the divine and I, my divinity. And it wasn't until Ascended Master Hilarion, the Ascended Master of Healing, contacted me about 15 years ago. And he said, it's time for you to go public. And I was stunned. And I said, doing what? And he said, doing healing work. And I said, I don't do healing work. And he said, well, what is it you think you do? And I said, I see the divine perfection of who somebody is, and I send them love. And he said, and what do you think healing work is? And I said, well, I see these people on television and they say you're healed, and they touch their forehead and they fall on the ground. And I said, I've never done anything like that. And he started laughing, a really deep belly laugh. And he said, I'm not asking you to do anything like that. I'm asking you to do what you've been doing since you were a very little girl. And he said, it's your clarion call, and you've agreed to do this. And he said, could you please do this starting in a couple of years? I said, yes, it would be my honor. I said, I only have one concern. And he said, what is that? I said, I've had no training. I've had no education as far as it goes. I've never even been around people that do that kind of work. And he started laughing again. And he said, Judy, he said, you don't need anything. He said, you are absolutely encoded with everything you need. And he said, you will just intuitively know what each person needs. You won't ever have to be concerned. And I was absolutely honored. And also, I recognized how sacred this opportunity was. And so I ended up taking a healing course on Theta Healing, and you downloaded 300 processes in people. And I practiced on people. And one lady that called me, because somebody referred me to her, I did this for 3 hours. I downloaded 300 processes.
Wow.
And this lady called me the next day and she said, Judy, you do not know who I am, do you? And I said, no, I know you by your first name. And she said, well, let me tell you who I am. She said, I run all the angelic retreats for New England area. And she said, I have never in all my years experienced the energy of anybody like you yesterday. And she said, I'm willing to offer you 2 free $300 boosts if you will come and do what you do. And I would be delighted. And I was stunned. And I said to her, wow, okay. I said, where am I going? And she told me. And I said, okay. So I borrowed a massage table and I borrowed a chair from somebody. And I had people lay on the table and I sat the chair behind their head. I put my hands on their heart and then I just started. Whatever came, whether I was talking to people from the other side, whether I was suddenly putting my hands on different parts of their body. Sometimes I was guiding colors into their body. Sometimes I was seeing symbols. Sometimes different guides and angels would come through, or ascended masters, and give me messages for them. And so I just did whatever I was guided to do. Within 15 or 20 minutes, people were lined around 4 tables all the way down the aisle. And I had no idea what this was all about. And I ended up being there till 8:30 at night when everybody else left at 4:30. And this happened again the next night. So the lady called me at the end of the weekend and she said, Judy, we've had phenomenal response to you. And she said, I'd like to offer you 2 more free $300 boosts if you will come to Maine and do what you do. And I said, I would be deeply touched and honored. And I thank you for the last opportunity. I really had a wonderful time and I enjoyed meeting everybody. She did this all through the summer. until she stopped having them that particular summer. And it was a beautiful gift, and it gave me an opportunity to have my start. But even to this day, Allayah, when I do body mind expos or treats or whatever I do,
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes at 9 in the morning and leaves at 4:30. And believe it or not, I'm still there till 7:30, 8:30 at night. And what I realized the last 2 years was the people that I am meeting after closing time are the ones that perpetually tell me, I've never told anybody this and I need help with this. And so I realized that the nature of the sensitivity of what I'm dealing with after hours gives people the courage to talk about what it is they need.
And
And that's been a real gift.
I say you really open their hearts. I know the thing with healing. I just even myself, I notice. Maybe that's why you and I know each other so well. I
Yeah,
always I
it is.
always touch people's hearts,
Yes.
and I've started doing a thing with some of my crystal skulls. We hold I hold the skull to their
Yes.
heart and my heart,
Yes. It's a beautiful gift, isn't it?
and I'm a late bloomer.
Well, you actually have been a very, very old, ancient, wise being who wasn't needed until now to wake up. And your
Uh,
gifts. So that's really what it is.
so I appreciate that confirmation because, like I said, sometimes you have to knock me in the head. But
Well,
the I just listening to you on your gift of healing, I'm going, darn, that's why I just started doing last week. It
yes.
has something to do with this thing with Max also. And
Yes.
I know we're going to go into a break, but maybe we can talk a little bit about your experience with Max. And because, like I
Okay.
say, he's been coming, I was telling you, he's been coming to me also.
Do
So
we
we're
have about
all,
5 minutes, or how much time do we have? So I know.
the next part, we got another 15 minutes.
Oh, so we do have time. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just clarify something. I knew when I was 7 years old that my job is to help people remember who they are, so they
Well,
can give the gift they're here to give, and that's what I do.
yeah, you're beautiful and authentic. Okay, we'll be
Bringing you
back.
the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
If you've ever said, I do want it all. I do want happiness. I do want love. And I do desire the happily ever after fairy tale life, then this show is for you. Join me, Dana Nicole Brandon, for my internationally acclaimed show, Bridal Talk Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'll bring you the top experts in the fields of communication, money, relationships, finance, pleasure, play, travel, sexuality, parenting, real estate, adventure, comfort, care, passion, and love.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
I'm Maggie Chula.
And I'm Catherine Glass.
And we're the Psychic Angel Channelers. Join us every week here on OMTimes Radio for Angel Talk Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Well, we're back. We're back with Judy and very heart-centered soul. Before the show, actually, she mentioned the crystal skull Max. And I said, this is interesting because the last few weeks, he's been coming to my mind. So again, Judy and I had this interesting connection. So let's talk about you and the crystal skull Max. Okay,
Okay.
Judy?
And what I'd like to do is offer the same activation that Max offered to a call I did yesterday to the people. It's a beautiful, beautiful activation, and it only takes about 2 minutes. So, first of all, I was told by a psychic named Will Maney many years ago that I was one of the people responsible for bringing the crystal skulls to planet Earth. And I didn't know anything about crystal skulls, and I kept thinking skull and crossbones and things like that. And I thought, oh, I can't imagine being involved in something like that. But I was open-minded, and so I said to my I Am Presence, whatever this opportunity is, I welcome it as long as it comes through love. About 3 months later, that was when I did that first healing thing at this angelic retreat that this lady offered me. And as I walked in the door to my left, the very first vendor was a booth with products that I, as a manager of a metaphysical bookstore in Great Barrington, had as a vendor. And so I set up my table and my massage table and chair. I went over and I saw the booth and I went looking for my friend, and she wasn't there, but there was another woman there. And this woman said, I'm here representing her and her product. She's off in the world getting more things. And she suddenly looked at me and she said, I have an invitation for you. She said, I'm having Max the Crystal Skull to my home this spring, and it's this next weekend, and I would love to invite you. And she hands me a paper, and it was an invitation to meet Max the Crystal Skull. It was, if I remember correctly at the time, it was like $30 for half an hour. And it was in a remote section of Upper New York in a private home. And I didn't know anything about it, but my overwhelming response was absolutely. And so I went ahead and did the healing work. And about 2 hours later, she came over to me and she said, I'm sorry, I didn't extend the invitation correctly. She said, Max wants you to come as a healer, not a guest. And I looked at her and I said, the skull wants me to come? She said, yes, he insisted. You come as a healer. There's no charge for the weekend, and he's really thrilled you're going to be there to work on people. And I said it would be my honor. So I came not really knowing what to expect. I walked into her home, and Joanne Parks was there. And Joanne Parks lives in Texas. And for over 20 years, she's been the guardian for Max the Crystal Skull. And so I was introduced to Joanne. She's a lovely, lovely woman. And I had my turn to sit with Max. And so I walked in the room, and Max was on a lighted base. He's a crystal skull about the size of a human skull. He has a skull cap, a dark round spot on, I believe it's the left side of his head, if I'm remembering correctly. And it looks like where a yarmulke would be. It looks like a round piece like those that are Jewish that wear yarmulkes. And so the moment I walked in the door, Max said, welcome, old friend. It's been a long time. And I just burst into tears. And he said, would you please come here and wet your third eye and put your third eye on my third eye? And I said, absolutely. And I sat down, and the love that I was feeling from that skull was so potent. And I feel it now.
And your voice, yeah.
I put my third eye on Max's third eye, and I put my hands on the side of his head. And the next thing I knew, tears were streaming down my face for 30 minutes. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in another realm. When the 30 minutes were up, I could barely speak. And Joanne said, I get it. You don't need to say a word. And I did work all day. And then that night, Joanne said, would you like to sleep in the room with Max? And I said I would be honored. And so I had come prepared. I had like 30, 35 of my crystals. And at that time, I was sleeping with them in my underwear and in my hands and on the top of my head and my bra. And I just was eluded. I mean, just covered in crystals. And so I brought them all and put them all around Max so they could say hi and reacquaint themselves for the whole night. And I slept with Max. And the same thing happened the next night. And that started a 2-year experience twice a year where I was invited as a healer by Max to do healing work where he was with this particular lady when he would visit. And the last time I came, I had moved to Florida. And on the plane, as I was getting off the plane, Max said to me, "This is the last time you will be coming to New England to see me." And he said, "Take a good look all around and just take it all in." And I did. And then the lady who picked me up from the airport, I didn't know her. She was sent by the lady who I was a guest of the hostess. And she was kind enough to pick me up. And I spent the weekend with her. And the last night before I was getting ready to leave the next day, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I was invited to a celebration in the Great Central Sun, and it was a celebration for Max. And there was every ascended master that I could imagine. There were archangels. There were beings from every realm. There were fairies and gnomes and whales and dolphins and trees and huge crystals. And it was just breathtaking. And I looked across the room, and there was the lady that I was staying with at her house looking at me as I was looking at her. Mm-hmm. They were honoring Max for his world service. And he was just glowing on this beautiful glass crystal pedestal. And he was floating in midair, and he was just glowing. And I recognized the sacredness of being given an opportunity to attend this sacred ceremony. And that morning, a couple hours later, I got up before the lady did. And when she came out, she said, "I saw you across the room with Max being celebrated." And I said, "I saw you too." Mm. And she shared with me what she saw, and I shared what I saw. We saw the identical things.
Wow.
And I'm sure Joanne was there, but I didn't see her.
Well, I lost Judy, and I'm trying to get her back.
Allayah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I said all of a sudden I lost you.
I know.
We have to talk to Archangel Michael a little better.
I know. I got an incoming call, and it automatically severs the connection.
Okay.
So it was a very sacred experience. And from that point forward, I carried Max. He was about 3 inches, and I got a little crystal skull I called Maxie. And I also have what's called an Andara crystal, which is one of the most powerful crystals on the planet from Lemuria. And I carried them in my purse for about 6 years. And every day they gave me assignments to do. Like I lived down 2 flights of stairs at that time, and I would get in my car and I'd hear him say, "Did you forget something?" And I'd go upstairs and get him and get the Andara crystal and put him in my purse. And then they would guide me on service to do for the day. And an example was I was standing line at a restaurant. I was guest speaking in a hotel, and I took time for lunch, and I was ordering my food, and I was standing in line, and I heard Max say to me, "You need to open the wings of the lady to your left." And I went, "Okay." So I went over and I introduced myself very discreetly and very politely, told her what I do, and I said, "I'm being asked to open your wings." And she burst into tears, and she said, "Absolutely." And she and I discreetly, for 10 minutes, opened her wings. In
Wow.
all the years that I was asked to do things, I never once had anybody say no. It had already been set up by Max and the Andara crystals. So I ended up downloading Max and all of the 12 crystal skulls. Max is the 13th in my sacred heart. They are with me all the time. And he shows up many, many times when I'm doing things. And I was helping to activate a 1,500-pound crystal in Florida. There were about 20 people in a circle, and we were there, and all of a sudden Max showed up floating above the crystal and winked at me. And he said, "Okay, kiddo, we're here to do this." And the lady to my right all of a sudden looked at me and she said, "Do you see Max?" And I said, yes. She was the only person in that circle of 20 people who had worked with Max, and she saw him too. And so Max said, "If we hold hands, we will do the work." And we downloaded the crystals. So it's been an ongoing, loving experience with Max, and I felt deeply grateful. So what I'd like to do.
I was going to say, Judy, we're going to have like 1 minute, so we're going to do it after the next break.
Okay. Yes.
But it's interesting when you're talking about Max. I'm sitting here, and he's in front of me.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going, maybe when we do the activation or what you're going to do, all of us who's ever listening, let's picture ourselves in a special circle of energy and join our hearts together.
Yes.
We'll be back with Judy in a minute.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences, to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your hosts on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Welcome to The Gathering Around My Kitchen Table on Equilarium FM, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join my guests as we integrate spirituality into everyday reality with vibrant conversations, inspired interviews, and my latest channeled guidance to inspire and brighten your day. I'm Claire Johnson, and together we'll be raising vibrations across the nations.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Well, we're back with Judy, and I don't know, I'm sitting here, and like I said, I'm seeing Max, and I'm seeing Judy behind Max holding him, And let's all just join our hearts together. And all right, Judy, bring this through. I don't know how else to say it. It's really amazing. You there, Judy?
What's that?
Judy, you back?
Allayah?
Yeah, are you there?
Allayah?
Yeah, are you there, Judy? You're there, but I hear you. This is very strange today. All right, let me see if I can try this connection again. All right.
Allayah?
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening here.
That was did you hear that? It was somebody talking in the background.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know if that was you or.
No, nothing to do with me.
Oh, well, that makes it even more interesting.
Do you want me to go ahead and do the activation and then go right into the prayer?
Yeah, we have to the next build up is 2:45. All right, so we have 15 minutes here. So
so can I do the activation, then I'll do the prayer, and then we can talk?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And let's hope I don't know what's going on with these airwaves.
Well, all you need to know is that everybody will get exactly what they're meant to get. And obviously we have some people interested in participating.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really strange. I mean,
here we go. I ask everybody to connect in their sacred heart at the base of their throat and just see a ball of light. And as you see a ball of light, connect to your divinity, however you choose to do that. Connect your I am presence. That's the highest wisdom of your soul, sometimes called your God self or your higher self. Bring that in to merge with your sacred heart. And when I do this, I see two balls of light merging together and creating fireworks. And as your I am presence merges with your sacred heart, you feel your oneness. And as you feel your energy expand beyond your body and expand beyond the room you're in and expand into who you are. And so in this moment, I ask Max to come in and to put his hand on the top of each person's head in their sacred crown. For all those that are listening to this call and all those in the world, the I am presence of all souls. So just feel him touch the top of your head. And as he does that, he's opening your crown. We're asking for only what honors you, and that all is in alignment with the highest integrity and light of your soul and your I am presence. And so as you experience this, I want you to feel Max and feel his energy as he is downloading his energy into you, going into your heart space. And he's activating the highest potential for your soul in this lifetime. So just allow him to do that in whatever way honors you through love, ease, or grace for the most benevolent outcome. And then he's also activating your highest potential as a universal being. That's in all aspects of your soul, all lives you're living, the totality of you through love, ease, and grace. And as he touches your heart, he now will take his third eye and put it on your third eye, and you will receive the transmission that he has meant just for you. So if this is acceptable to you, then just say yes quietly in your sacred heart, and you will receive this. And just breathe. And may you just know that you know exactly what the gifts are that he's transmitted to you today, how to use them to touch the hearts you're here to touch, and for the hearts to touch you, and for the perfect experience to be yours. And so it is, beloved, we are. I'm going to take you through a golden rainbow prayer. And this was a prayer that was updated 3 years ago when my angels woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they said, we suggest you activate your golden rainbow. And I said, show me what you're talking about. And your chakras, the energy centers in your body, there are 7 when you are in a human life experience. And there's some below your feet and some above your head, but there's 7 in your body. And they're different colors, and you can Google chakras on the internet. And they showed me I had all these extra chakras, and they were all different colors than the ones that I'd had before. And I saw myself standing in this huge rainbow, which your chakras are your rainbow. You are a rainbow. And as I was standing in my own rainbow of all these beautiful colors, I saw, instead of the traditional red and orange and yellow and green and so on, I saw salmon, and I saw teal, and I saw magenta. And these were new 5th dimensional color chakras. And the next thing I know, I looked and I saw like somebody had sprinkled a whole bottle of gold glitter inside my aura as a rainbow, and everything was sparkling with golden twinkling lights. And they said, this is your activation that allows you to step into the 7th golden age of wisdom and peace, fully activated and updated. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to activate your golden rainbow. So if what I described to you feels good in your sacred heart, then just say yes quietly. And we ask that you also be activated, initiated, and downloaded through love, ease, and grace, your own golden rainbow, so that you too are prepared and aligned to step into the 7th golden age of wisdom and peace. What the golden energy represents is we are leaving 3rd dimension, we're in 4th, and we're going into 5th. And in 5th dimension, the energy stepping into a golden age represents stepping into the highest wisdom of our soul. So I started seeing golden dolphins and golden whales and all kinds of golden animals starting in 2005. And in 2011, the platinum dolphins helped usher in what needed to be ushered in on the planet. And the golden dolphins in December 21st, 2012, helped Max, the crystal skull, initiate the shift of the ages. And Max was responsible for ascension on Earth. So it's been quite a sacred journey. So now that you've had an opportunity to have your golden rainbow activated, we're going to do the golden rainbow prayer. I am one with all in the heart of divinity. As I feel the divine light of love move through all my sacred bodies, sacred minds, and sacred hearts, illuminating my own sacred heart, that light forms a golden rainbow of all healing colors. I stand in the truth of who I am and my divine vocation with joy. As I send the golden rainbow of love from my sacred heart to all sacred hearts I am to touch, with all of my gifts, talents, abilities, skills, and tools, understanding, wisdom, knowledge, and intelligence and awareness. I see points of light glow as they receive my golden rainbow into their sacred hearts. I know divinity will guide all those I am to touch and be touched by, with the spiritual integrity of who I am, easily, effortlessly, and through divine grace. I smile as I feel I have fulfilled my divine intention, and I feel whole, complete, perfect, and one with all in divine peace. This golden rainbow prayer is available on my website, and my website is www.judycali.com. That's judycali.com. And you can read it again and take it in and do the prayer yourself. It's been my joy to share this with you today.
Yes, I'm still vibrating.
Yes, it's a very powerful prayer.
Before I had talked to Judy, I was looking at her site today, and it came to me that I had asked her, would she please do the prayer and activation, because so many people are hurting so much, emotionally, doing all these energy, upgrades, and, we're all worn out, and it's a beautiful reminder, like you said, Judy's service is to open hearts, open minds, open the sacred heart. And like I said, it's kind of interesting, all this energy on the internet, hearing strange people. That this is the second time this has happened, only with grandmother Chandra. That happened. Another voice came through.
I was her father in a life in Atlantis, so I know her well.
Okay. So, I mean, it kind of throws you. It's like, okay, who's this? There's nobody else around us here. But we have one more minute to break, and then we'll just see where maybe one of your, maybe from Source or one of the masters would like have any kind of message for people to ease their pain that they're going through. Like I said, this whole work of yours is so heart-centered. I mean, you've actually reminded me that, yes, we're doing heart-to-heart work, which I'm grateful, because I didn't know where that was coming from.
Well, may I remind everybody that the way you enter fifth dimension is only through the sacred heart. You must connect sacred heart to sacred heart. As we go through the shift of the ages, we're shifting from living out of fear and our mind to living out of our heart and connected to the love of divinity. And that's home. Home is in your sacred heart.
Yes, and it's available freely to all. We'll be back with Judy after, a short break.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts, Yelito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland, on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
If you remember living fearlessly, joyfully, and in a world filled with adventure, happiness, pleasure, and unbridled living, then this show is for you. Join me, Dame Nicole Brandon, as I bring you the world's top experts in wealth, creativity, flow, seat-edging technology, space, wellness, health, love, lust, and passion, all merging together each week here at the Hub of Happiness. Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Passionate Living, where you can ride on the magic carpet ride of living and learn how to lead a passionately wild, exciting, and outrageously amazing life.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Oh, this hour goes far too quick.
I know it does.
I'm going, oh shit, it's like a million questions, but all right. No, I know your work with the golden dolphins. Right now, this is another one I'm seeing in front of me. I have an interesting array of, I'm here alone. I'm like, okay, I saw Max.
You're really not.
I saw Hilleron. Maybe it was Hilleron that I saw behind Max. I see a strong connection between the two of them. Ascended Master, Hilleron and Max.
Yes.
And then I'm looking at this dolphin, and we're looking at each other. So I'm perceiving, well, maybe I should ask you about the golden dolphins.
That's you, Allayah. That's you in your golden dolphin form. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, it's getting through to me, but it's so interesting.
You.
I had seen in one of my skulls, it's a blue lapis, very primitive, and it has showed me the dolphins that walked on land with a golden star on their, third eye.
Yep.
And it has taken me under the water to, see the mer people and communicate with them.
Yep.
So I'm looking at me.
So welcome the golden dolphin into your sacred heart and let you give yourself the gift that would assist you at this time.
I'm sure that, of course, being on air here, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's okay. Just go ahead and invite it into your sacred heart. It knows what to do. And then just breathe and know that all is well. And it will share its gifts with you as time goes on. It's going to be the one to usher you in to the 7th golden age of wisdom and peace.
Yeah, because I'm looking out through its eyes right now. So that's even more interesting.
Yeah, they're your eyes. Just recognize you're looking in your own eyes.
Oh, that's really interesting, Judy.
The beautiful, beautiful gift. When you asked me of the beings to step forward, Allayah is here and Adama is here.
Oh, I'd love to. What will they share? Two of my favorites.
Okay, so let me connect. Okay, this is Allayah. I am here, sweet ones, in honor of Allayah. It has been a sacred privilege to be able to assist her in the ways that I have been able to assist. She does not always recognize her worth, and I am here to remind her that just like when you were a little kid and you get your gold stars, I am putting a gold star right on your heart. I ask that you take the time to feel this star on your heart and know that I'm always with you. And I am sharing a gold heart onto the heart of each of the callers so that each of you are receiving a gift from me. And you are invited to call on me anytime by putting your hand over that gold heart, and I will know to come. And I would be happy to assist you in any way possible. It is with deep love and respect that I bid you goodbye, and I send you each a kiss. Now he's leaving. This is Adama here. And it is a very sacred time on the planet because you are waking up in ways that you cannot even understand. You are waking up and smelling things that you've never smelled before. You are feeling feelings that you have not felt in a long, long time. You are having images that you can't quite put a place to. You're having memories and dreams. Just allow you to unfold like the most beautiful lotus, petal at a time, until finally, when the awakening is fully and complete, you will understand what every petal meant and every gift that it brought you. So for now, feel your heart expand into the lotus, and feel that expansion until you're standing in the middle of the heart of the lotus. And as you're standing in the middle of the heart of the lotus, I want you to project your heart energy to the star in front of you. And the star in front of you is the heart of Telos. And it is my gift to invite as my guest each of you this evening in your dream state home. For each of you is living life experiences in Telos as I am speaking. Telos is the Lemurians inside Mount Shasta, and we have been there for more than 12,500 years. We are living in the fifth dimension and beyond. And as I invite you to come and join me this morning, you will remember who you are just by being in the presence of your Lemurian and Telosian family. I also invite Mikos of Middle Earth and the head librarian of the Library Pathologos to give you permission to come into the library and to access all the crystal discs that are about you, and to give you a broader sense of who you are at this time. This is my gift to each of you and to Allayah for having an opportunity to give Judy a format to share. It is from my heart to yours that I extend this invitation, and I am always there when I am needed. Just take a moment and feel that beautiful gold star that you touched to enter Telos, and you will be there. With all my love, I am Adama. I am your brother. I am your family. And we are love.
Wow. I first met Elmora in my 20s when I had my first spiritual awakening. And he presented himself to me. And I had no idea who he was. And that started my understanding of the great, the Ascended Masters. So he has a special place in my heart. It takes me it takes me a long time to finally get it.
In the past, not anymore. Now, lickety-split, you're getting it just amazingly right in the moment.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to take a long time anymore.
Well, as we head toward the end of the show, I really, you did a beautiful service for everybody. Like I said, I'm still between having tears in my eyes and vibrating. It's going to take me a while to calm down.
That's lovely, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just the experiences on just being on the internet and how you can reach people. It amazes me, but it's so authentic. It's not something, falsely said or ego-centered. This is heart-to-heart communication.
Yep.
So, again, I thank you, and I direct everybody to your website, www.judycali.com. There's a lot of information there. And as you listen to Judy, she's a beautiful, beautiful soul and a very treasured friend of mine. And
I equally hold that feeling for you, Allayah.
And I'm hoping that, in a few more months out of her very busy schedule, she'll talk to us again.
I would be happy to make room. No problem.
So, and then we'll just have to figure out whose voice it was that was, coming through. Because, like I said, the only other time that happened was with grandmother Chandra and, her mother, because her mother was going, "Who's that? Who's that?" And I'm going, "I don't know."
Yeah, that's Cat. Her mother's Cat.
Yeah.
Yes. She's a beautiful being, Grandma Chandra. She's doing tremendous service to the planet.
And she's another one that I'm going to be, bringing back again too, because not everybody can always reach people physically. But, having OMT allowing me to bring all these wonderful people on, I think we're being able to touch people that don't know what's going on there.
Yes.
So it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. I'm totally in awe, Judy. I mean, I see a lot of things normally, but it's just the experience again with Max and the Golden Dolphin and all this, and Amora. Like I said, I'm going to be, all hyper for the rest of the day.
Well, just realize that with every breath we take, our light's getting brighter, and we're not who we were the minute before. So just allow.
So I thank you, and
namaste. Namaste. Namaste.